What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. Today I'm wearing my Zodiac Super Seawolf. Um, Love this watch, the watermelon. It's cool. 200 meter diver, COSC certified. Just not an everyday watch. I get kind of tired of the color, looking at the colors, but it's a fun watch. Great for the summer. Anyway, so I decided to do a video top 10 watches at 5,000 or under. So let's roll the intro and we'll get into it. Talking timepieces with Tony. Talking timepieces with Tony. All right, cool. I did take some notes. A lot of the stuff I already know, but I just some sort of reminders, I'm not going to go too in depth with them, but because I don't want to make this video, too long. So let's just get into it. All right. So the top, I guess what we're going to do is when I say the top 10, this is just my picks. And these are watches that I've either owned or are maybe on my radar to buy. But, I wanted to do something that basically something I'm more familiar with than just going, oh, that looks cool. Let's do add that to the list, So again, these are just my picks and not really in any particular order up until we get to the top, I guess. So my number 10 pick was the Sinn 104 STSA. I owned this watch for probably 2 years, and I loved it. And in fact, the picture I'm going to put up is the exact configuration that I had with the anthracite dial and the gray Alcantara strap. It's 200 meters. It's a pilot watch. It has a Sellita SW220-1 movement, and it's German brand. And the only place you can get them in the United States is at Watch Buys. And for $1,640, it's a great price. I mean, for that price, you're getting a whole lot of watch. It's a great watch. Sinn make amazing watches. So yeah, that was my number 10. Number 9, the Longines flagship Heritage at $3,050. It's a 38.5 millimeter case, blue dial with a date, moon phase. It has a JLC aesthetic, JJ Lecoultre aesthetic, but at obviously a fraction of the price, but it's still a very reliable, very good watch. Longines make amazing watches. So, I would be in at 9. It's hand applied indices, and just a beautiful, I would call it just basically a dress watch. You can dress it down. Any of these watches you can dress down, and dress up if you want. So, Longines flagship Heritage with the moon phase, awesome watch. Number 8. Now this one comes in a little tad bit over $5,000. This is $5,250, and this is the IWC Mark 20. And I have not owned this watch, but it's been on my radar for so long. Well, the Mark 20, there was the Mark 18 and the Mark 17 prior. And I believe in those back then, they were using ETA movements or maybe Val Fleurier movements. This one in particular, again, comes in at $5,250. It's a 40 millimeter case, 100 meters water resistance with a screw down crown. And they say the manufacturer movement's a 3211 in-house. So take it for what you will, but IWC make phenomenal watches, and that's really just in the 5,000, just a little bit over. So if you really wanted 5,000 and under, and it's, well, you said 5,000, not 5,250, not 5,001. Well, tough shit. It's my channel. I'll just say whatever I want, I guess. But 5,250, so 250 over, and you're getting a watch that, it's a lifetime watch. It's an heirloom piece. If you take care of it, you can hand it down. Beautiful watch. Number 7, actually another watch that I've owned is a Maurice Lacroix Pontos chronograph. I never talk about Maurice Lacroix on my channel, but I've owned several Maurice Lacroix, and I loved them, and especially way back when I was you know, just venturing off into different watch brands and whatever. And I just remember Maurice Lacroix just sounded like, oh, that's a brand that I think I might be interested in. And then, you know, I bought one, and I've had them, you know, and I don't own one now, but they make excellent watches for the price point, especially the Maurice Lacroix Pontos. This one is at $3,300. It's a 43 millimeter case, so it is kind of big for someone like me with a 6.5-inch wrist. 100 meters screw down crown, brushed and polished case. This is the ML 112 caliber movement. I don't know what they base that off, if it's an ETA or a Sellita, but I imagine it's not in-house. But their movements are decorated too. They have, you know, perlage and Cote de Genève, so their movements are beautiful as well. And this also has a display case back. I don't have a picture of the display case back, but just a beautiful watch. If you want something that looks a lot more expensive than what it is, then Maurice Lacroix are a great brand. You know, I suggest looking into them. They got the Acon, or Icon, what it's called, AIKON, which has that look of, you know, the Audemars and the Vacheron 222, that kind of look. But for the price points, it's just really great watches. So check them out, you know. So that was my number 7. Number 6, I am going with the Nomos Club Campus. Nomos, made in Glashütte, Germany, are the biggest independent watchmaker in Germany. All in-house. I mean, I compare Nomos to almost like a Patek Philippe in a sense, almost without all the complications. You know what I mean? I think they are doing such a phenomenal job at creating their movements. And even this one, the Club Campus, with the Alpha manual wind movement, 100 meters water resistance, even though it has not a closed, not a see-through case back, and you can get a display case back for them. You have to pay like an additional $300 or something, but they still decorate the movement, you know. And just they're just such an impressive brand, especially at the price point. The Nomos Club Campus is at $1,650, 38.5 millimeter. They do have 36 millimeter as well, and 100 meters water resistance, if I didn't already say that. But just, you know, Nomos make really great watches. I don't like the way they target their Club Campus to, you know, if you're a graduate, you know, like of school, college, or whatever. You know, I don't know. It almost cheapens the brand the way that they say that. And plus, college kids don't know anything about manual wind movements. You know, you can't overwind those watches, you know, and, you know, then you got a broken watch. And I mean, it's great that kids and the younger generation are getting into watches. I just wouldn't market the Club Campus that way. I think it does. I think it just cheapens the brand the way they do that. But my opinion. So, but yeah, Nomos. And I love my Nomos, you know. The next one, number 5, is a Longines Spirit Zulu Time at $3,050. The cool thing about this watch is they come in a 39 millimeter case and a 42 millimeter case, 100 meters water resistance with a 72-hour power reserve. And of course, all of the watches I'm talking about have sapphire crystals. I think if you're looking for an everyday watch, you know, whether it be something as like a beater watch, something you could wear to a wedding, a funeral, any type of party, the beach, you could wear that watch and it looks good, you know. And at the price point, again, I've said this before, Longines just make tremendous watches and great value for money. So that was the number 5. So number 4 is the Tudor Black Bay 58 GMT. I believe that's the Coke with the black and burgundy bezel. And the bezel's aluminum, I believe, on those. I believe. I don't think they have ceramic bezels. It's $4,600. This is a 39 millimeter case, MT5450U COSC and METIS service certified movement with a 65-hour power reserve. You know, Tudor, you know, again, Rolex's younger sibling, make great watches. I've said this before about their quality control, just because I've had 2 of them, and 2 of them have had issues. My Black Bay 58, when I first got it, if you don't remember the story, I bought it the day before Christmas Eve a couple years ago. I mean, it just took me forever to get to Bindi Jewelers in the mall. I mean, I was sitting in traffic in pouring rain outside the mall, but on the street getting ready to park for an hour and a half before I could even get in there. It was this whole nightmare. Get the watch, got it home before I even said it or anything, did a watch review on it. This was on my previous channel, and pulled the crown out to set the time, started turning it. The hands didn't move. Big issue there. Took it back to Bindi. Lucky enough, they saw the issue and they replaced the watch. But still, some of the quality control needs to be a little bit better with Tudor. I'm sure they're probably getting better, but that's just my 2 cents. But still, great watch. If you can't get a Rolex GMT, get a Tudor, man. So it's great. And plus, they're more on the vintage side. They come out with the more vintage looking what Rolex used to look like. So that was my number 4 pick. Number 3 was another one, a Tudor Black Bay 58. This is $4,000, 200-meter unidirectional bezel, whereas the GMT has an omnidirectional. I believe it turns both ways. So unidirectional bezel, I'm sorry. And they both have 200 meters water resistance. 65-hour power reserve. This is the COSC certified MT5 450. I'm sorry, let me say that again. The COSC certified MT5402 in a 39 millimeter case. I had the blue variation of this, and I really liked it. It just gave me that vibe of a vintage Submariner, and I really like the old school Submariners. However, I don't like having vintage watches for the most part because they're so fragile and delicate, and you can't kind of beat them around, you know what I mean? Whereas with the new watches that look vintage, it has modern technology in it, and obviously it's a brand new watch, so it'll have that 200 meters. You can kind of bang it without worrying about something happening to it. So I really like that, and that's what I like about Tudor. So that was my number 3 pick. My number 2 is a Cartier Ronde 40 millimeter, $4,650 in the automatic. I had the Ronde in the 36 millimeter quartz, and I'm gonna have to get another one of those actually, because I really like that watch. Again, 40 millimeter, super clean dial. This is the 1847 MC movement that Cartier use in a lot of their watches that are automatic. It's in the Pasha, it's in the Tank, the automatics, and then the Ronde, and also the Santos. So yeah, but it's a workhorse movement, and it's slightly decorated. It's not anything, that's just a beauty to look at or whatever, but it is decorated. It's a nice movement, and I like the fact that the Ronde has a display case back. So it's a good watch. Those are at 100 meters water resistance as well, I believe. But super classic. I like the way that the Ronde looks because it kind of gives me that Patek Philippe 5119G look, which I like. But again, being a Cartier. So, and then the number 1 overall pick for at exactly $5,000 is the Cartier Tank Louis XL. Again, with the 1847 MC in-house. I think they have a 42-hour power reserve. I have to say that the negatives about this particular movement is the power reserve kind of just sucks. It's like 42 hours. It's just that's it. But the Tank is classic. It's something when it's on your wrist, people know exactly what it is. When you haven't worn a rectangle watch, the dimensions get a little funky. When you go, well, how big is it? And it's big. It's actually, I got a 6.5-inch wrist, and it was big on my wrist. But it's just a beautiful watch. It's classic. There's a reason why so many celebrities picked that watch when they were wearing it. Muhammad Ali wore just the little, they only had the little ones back in those days. Andy Warhol, the first lady, what was her name? Can't remember. I have it right here, but I can't remember. But anyway, Cartier just make a fantastic watch. And the one beautiful thing about Cartier is not only are they beautiful, not only are they reliable, but at the price point is unbelievable because they do look more expensive than what they are. So that's my overall picks for the top 10 5,000 and under. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you on the next one. Hope you like and subscribe. I appreciate it.